Hey, you're listening to the Making of an Exception podcast. My name's Kirk. If you've ever listened to an episode before, my name's Kirk. And we've got a special guest. I can't believe it. He's from Dallas, Texas. He's up here. I love him so much. For the last 3 years, he's been the young adult pastor at a church called the Oaks down near Dallas, Texas. And he's about to start some brand new stuff, including marriage.
Yes.
Getting married.
It's
As
happening.
we're filming this, he's about to get married. It's happening. But we got Dillon Wilson. What's up, dude? Thanks for being here.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here, man. I'm a big fan of this podcast. I've checked it out for the last few months, and
Only
we're gonna
because
have
you're
some
a
fun.
good friend, though. You're just being a good friend.
I'm a raving
It's
fan.
legit?
I'm a raving
Okay.
fan.
A raving fan.
Yeah.
We'll give you one of these mugs on your
Let's
way out.
go.
We'll do it, so
I love it.
for $5, and then we'll do it. I'm kidding. Yo, thanks for being here. And
Thanks,
you're
man.
up doing some speaking and teaching, just talking ministry, all that. And I love you, not just because you're pastor's kid, and pastor's kid to one of my favorite people of all time. Your dad is amazing. We'll talk about that in a second because I used to live in Dallas. But not just because your pastor's kid became a pastor serving in ministry, but because God's given you so many unique gifts that are incredible, and you've taken multiple gifts down different roads and really far down those roads.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about football. We'll talk about what you're doing with clothing line and who your wife is. As this episode's out, you're married. You know.
Yeah.
As we're
When
filming
this
right
comes
now,
out, I
that's
will
what I'm
be a
saying.
married
That's what I'm
man.
saying. And what your wife's doing, what you're about to do alongside her is amazing. So let's get into it. First of all, tell me about kind of where you're at right now, and even as we record this, and what you're about to get ready to do, and then we'll backtrack from there and how you became who you are.
Yep. So, gosh, you're catching me at a crazy season.
I know, it's good.
Yeah. Over the past year, God's put on my heart, hey, you're going to have some transition. I'm about to download some big dreams into your mind and into your heart, and I just want you to be ready. So that was a year ago. A year ago.
Yep.
And so I had a clothing line before, and when I was doing that, it was really out of, man, I just wanted to be cool. I wanted to be famous. I wanted to make this thing happen. I wanted to have a name for myself, and that was kind of the driving force behind that. And I couldn't, and I was working full time at a church too.
Yep.
And so I just couldn't balance and manage both my work life and having this company. And so it really came to a point where my dad and uncle were like, hey, we hired you as a young adults pastor, not a clothing designer. You can go to LA and kick it with your homies and start your brand, or you can stay here, be a young adults pastor. God said, you move to LA. This is what I heard when I prayed. God told me, if you move to LA, that's you following your dreams and asking me to come alongside of you. You stay at the Oaks where I've planted you, and in the season that I have you in, you be faithful, then you'll be in alignment with the dreams that I want to download in your heart. So that was about a year and a half ago.
So you shut down what you were building.
Yep, shut down. So what's crazy, bro, I already did collection 1. The brand's called Love You.
Yep.
I did collection 1 in January.
I remember it. Yeah.
And then in May, I had models booked. I had a show. I had a venue. I had everything going down. I had my whole savings account emptied for this collection. I had 350 pieces of clothing, 12 boxes, 7 designs
for
collection 2.
Yeah.
So I had that happening. The conversation with my dad and my uncle about you need to shut this down like basically you need to choose what you need to do.
It's an ultimatum. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like,
That happened like literally a month before the show.
Yeah.
So I called it off. I gave all the clothes away to the homeless kids in my community.
No way.
Yep. Gave those clothes away. 6 months later, God says, hey, I'm about to download some big dreams. And that's when God said, hey, that love you stuff, that was me. I put that inside of you, but now's the time. Now my blessing's on it. You're ready. Move forward towards that. So that was a year ago. Over the last few months, I've been processing that with my dad and my uncle, who are the executive and senior pastors of the organization I was at. And I told them, I said, I'm out December 1st. I said, I don't know what I'm going to do for work. I'll work at Starbucks if I have to. And I'm going to be done with my master's degree then. And I am out as the young adults pastor December 1st. They gave me their blessing, believed in me, but rightfully so. They're like, how are you going to eat? Like, where are you going to live? What are you going to do, bro?
Yeah, you're still family.
Yeah, exactly. So as dad and uncle, they're like, what
doing?
the heck? Yeah, what are you doing? So I was faithful to that. All of a sudden, crazy, Kirk. No idea. I know I'm out December 1st. All of a sudden in August, I get a text message. Hey, come meet Holly. She's on the second row. And I never met.
Who's Holly?
Her name is Holly Miller. her stage name, she's a singer, is Holland. And so I knew a year ago, it's so funny, bro, because a year ago I listened to her music, loved it. Okay, that was super cool. Added to a few playlists. It was like it was like on our walk-in playlist for young adults. Like it's hype music. I really like it. And I knew who she was as the artist Holland. And I creeped on her page. Get this, but I wanted to DM her on the low. Like I wanted to DM her, but I was like, this girl's way too famous. She's way too cool, way too pretty for me. There's no way I'm gonna get
Where's
a DM
she
back.
from?
She's from Ohio, but lives in Nashville.
Yep.
And so I heard her music, creeped on her page a year ago. I was like, there's no way. So when I got that text in August, like 3 months ago,
Come meet Holly.
Hey, come meet Holly. I knew her as Holland. That's it. But a mutual friend introduced us at church. And dude, that day, I knew she was going to be a big part of my story. I knew that I'd be changing the world with that girl. And that was 3 months ago. Over the last 3 months, it's been moment after moment after moment after moment of confirmation of she is the blessing to my faithfulness.
So you met her in August.
Yeah.
As we sit, we're in December. You're getting married at the end of the month or next month.
December 31st, New Year's.
New Year's Eve. You're about to get married, and you met in August. How in the world did that happen?
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's moving so fast.
Super fast.
Is your dad and uncle like, what are you doing, bro? You're quitting the church and you're getting married in 4 months.
Yeah, so my dad's super sad because we're leaving. You know, I've lived in Dallas 3 years.
Yeah, you're about to move.
Yeah, but I think it's making sense now.
She doesn't want to move to you because you don't have a job and you're moving to her.
Very true, low key. Yeah.
You're moving to her.
Yeah,
that's great.
First, I'm being serious. It was really cool because no, but that is very true. Her management, her label, all that stuff is there.
Yeah.
It's better for us as a married couple to live there.
Yeah.
Because my business that I'm starting, Love You Back Over Again.
Yep.
I'm doing Love You Again. I'm completely mobile, and so I can live and work wherever. And I can't wait to live in Franklin. Franklin, Tennessee is incredible.
Yeah, amazing.
So it's making sense now. Why I think it's moving so fast is because I've done the hard work to get it to the point where when I met her, I was ready.
Yeah.
About 4 years ago, I was actually. I had a ring, asked the parents, and had a whole engagement party planned for another girl about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And God told me, that's not the girl I have for you. Do you trust me with your future wife? And I said, this is the hardest thing I've ever had to do, but I do trust you. That was 4 years ago.
That's crazy.
So for the last 4 years, I've been through a process with a counselor, with mentors, with pastors, saying, I want to get my heart, I want to get my mind, I want to get my body in a place where when I meet my future wife, I'm ready to give her the fullness of who God's created me to be.
Amazing.
And so I was a whole person. She was a whole person. I look left, she looks right. We're getting married.
Wow, it's amazing. December 31st.
December 31st,
Yo,
man.
that's crazy. Where is the wedding?
In Dallas, downtown.
As people listen to it, it's already happened.
It's already happened. You can go check it out.
You're on your honeymoon,
on the
probably.
Instagrams and go look at all the pictures and videos.
Yeah, for real. That's amazing. And congrats. Marriage is
Thank
the best.
you.
I can't wait to meet her. And I've known you since you were in high school because I moved down to Texas.
Yeah, you were kicking it with us.
Right after college, really for my internship in college, moved down there, planned to spend the summer, then ended up spending about a year with the Oaks. And you were in high school. Your brothers were high school, middle school, whatever.
How old are you?
I'm 29.
Okay, I'm 25.
Yeah. So 4 years apart.
4 years.
And I've loved watching you from a distance, and just know. I mean, your dad is still a pastor in my life, you know, and your mom is like the nicest person of all time, and my wife thinks the world of both your parents. And so we follow your family, and we stay connected a little bit. And the journey that you've had like through high school, I'd love to hear like your faith story, but also talking about just when you graduated high school, you went down a whole different route.
Yeah.
And it's funny to know who you are now. Like you're one of the hippest dudes of all time, but you were like sports dude in high
sports
school,
all
like
the way, bro.
Totally different.
Yeah.
And so go back to the beginning. Growing up a pastor's kid, growing up in the church, what was that like? And then even getting into high school, because you went and played football in college too. So take it wherever you want.
So I like being a pastor's kid. Some people don't enjoy that as much.
Yeah, I'm a pastor's kid as well.
Yeah, I love it. It was great. My dad did really well at staying dad. I didn't just see him on the platform. I saw him at my sports games. Yeah. So my dad loved being a great dad, and he was.
Yeah.
And so I love being a PK.
Yeah.
When I was 17 years old, committed to play at Kansas State. So that was my junior year of high school, in between the summer going into my senior year. And so right at that moment, I think that was a catalytic time where I was like, okay, I got this.
Yep.
And I want to do life on my own, and I want to figure this thing out. I don't know if I necessarily believe what my parents have taught me or what my dad preaches about. I want to go figure this out on my own. And with that came...
so that's when you're 17, 18?
Yeah, 17, 18 years old.
When you're at Kansas State, you're still I don't know.
Well, I had a year left of high school. So probably my senior year of high school, and then like 2.5 years, 3 years into college, were, dude, me running from God and running from my calling.
So you grew up in it.
Yep, grew up in it.
You had great parents.
Parents,
obviously respectable. To me, it's like if you grow up in it and you have poor parents, like you see a double life or you see them caring about, especially in ministry, like it's all the ministry stuff and they suck at being parents. That makes sense to me to think, I don't even know if I believe this stuff because I've had poor examples, but you had great examples.
No, it makes sense, yeah.
So, talk about that process of like, I don't know if I'm in on this.
Yeah. I think it was something that I just did, man, since I was born. It's like I went on Wednesdays for Wednesday night service. I went to prayer meetings Saturday night before service on Sunday. Went to 3 services on Sunday and then Sunday night as well. It's like, then went to small groups, then did fine arts. It was like, it was just so routine that it was more of something that we did and my dad did for work than for me than a personal experience. Now, a personal relationship, let me say that. I've had experiences before, but to me, if you want me to be completely honest, the girls, the clubs, the parties, the scene, the fashion, the music, the sports, the light, the fame, that looked way more attractive than God for 4 years. And I very much so said, I respect what my dad does. I respect church. Because I never like it's not like I completely talked bad about the church or I honor when I was home on break or something, I'd go to church. But I was just there as dead weight just to honor my family. I wasn't necessarily there. Dillon was there, but he wasn't there.
So when you talk 4 years, that's your 4 years in college or senior year?
Yeah, so probably senior year of high school and then 3 years into college. And then I was just at a point, and I was dating a girl that I was almost engaged to, all of that. And I was just at a point where I was like, okay, I literally have everything I could ever want. I have the girl that I'm in love with. I have the friends. We're on TV every weekend. I'm on a top 10 team in the country. We just won the Big 12 championship. We're going to bowl games. Like, I have money. Money's not a problem. I'm on full scholarship. It's like everything I had ever wanted, but there was still a void here missing. I was like, let me try this God thing out for myself. Maybe this is actually real, and this actually...
Side note, you were a kicker on this team.
I was a kicker,
And my legs are still bigger than yours, so... That says something about how
we'll
big
go
my
squat
legs are.
after this and see who wins squat off.
You'll still win. I'm not saying my legs are stronger,
but they're
just
bigger.
saying they're bigger. Yo, you're a kicker. And you would kill it.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Yeah, thank you, bro.
K-State.
Yep, it was fun, dude. I was on some good teams there.
I would watch you on TV, by the way.
Yeah, thanks, bro.
Yeah.
So now I support the podcast. You supported me while I was playing football.
I probably
Let's
posted
go. We're homies.
about it less, but. Loved watching.
Let's go.
Thanks for the support.
Yeah, so I basically I allowed for a pastor to come into my life and to mentor me. That person was awesome in that season, allowing not family. I needed my own
from Oaks.
No, from a different church.
Church?
Yep, I need a pastor, I need a mentor. Speaking of my life, he let me ask questions and just be 100% real. I don't know if I believe this. I don't know if I think this. My dad says this, but I don't know if I do. He let me ask questions and just prayed and processed with me. You know what was crazy is I used to call my dad all the time and I'd say, Dad, I just got bumped down a string. I'm not second string, I'm third string. Or, hey, I'm not doing good in school. Or me and my girlfriend are fighting. My dad loved me so much that he would try to answer my questions for me and try to help me because he's such a good dad. Until the day I remember I was in my car, I said, Dad, I don't know what to do. I said, tell me right now, what should I do? What's my next move? Because he's brilliant. He'd always tell me. But this time was different. He looked at me, Kirk, and he said, hey, I love you so much that I need to stop trying to fix your problems and let God speak to you. I feel like I'm handicapping you and what God's wanting to say to you. He said, ask God and I promise he'll talk to you. So that was the first time I really felt like I talked to God. And ever since then, and then getting the pastor and the mentor, I went on a journey, found God for myself, gave my life to Jesus, got baptized, that is the season that I let go of that relationship because I wasn't healthy and wasn't God's plan for my life. And then started this whole freedom, restoration, healing, identity season that's lasted the probably last 3 years. That's why I can get married so quick because I'm a whole person. I'm complete. And I've gone the lengths of making that possible.
No, I think it's amazing. What a great principle, even from your dad, to have that moment with you to say, hey, I'm not going to tell you what to do or even encourage you one way or the other. You got to figure it out on your own. It's like a leadership principle of feedback. Like there's a lot of leaders that I know that they feel this need to give feedback. They view good leadership as I need to give you feedback. I need to give you direction. And which is good. I'm not saying feedback's bad, but there's almost like, I've been thinking about it, like there's almost like this, like the underbelly of that is there insecurity in this leader that's like, I don't want to be viewed as a bad leader. Or I think if this is good leadership that I need to be giving feedback. I think in parenting too, it's like, I want to be a good parent. So I want to help solve their problems, or I want to help give them the idea of which way to go, all that. And I love that too. My dad would do the same thing. When I was dating Kaylee, I was like, Dad, like, tell me, like, it's like the scariest thing in the world and you just did it, to say, hey, I want to marry this girl. Like I'm doing this thing, you know, like, cause it's forever. That's what you're planning on is forever. And my dad would not say it. Like some parents are like, if you don't marry this girl, you're an idiot. Like, and which is fine. My dad wouldn't do it. But now I understand why, because I had to make that decision for myself because I had to own it later, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
In the good times, in the challenging times, I got to own that stuff later. And so I just think in the area of feedback in leadership, in parenting, it's not always good leadership to speak into it or to give the feedback or to say, change this up.
Sometimes you're stunting their growth.
Totally.
If you try to step in a
and what you said about your dad too. Am I cutting your legs off to hear from the Holy Spirit? You know,
exactly.
Am I cutting your legs off to find it out on your own? Because it's a handicap sometimes. So sometimes, Anyways, it's the whole leadership thing, which you're brilliant.
I love it,
and I love it too. Here's a question, because in your life, and I know we're talking fast, but I love it. In your life, you were going down a road of athletics, a road of, not sure, like your faith. Now you're all in. It's amazing.
Yeah.
You get called into ministry.
Yeah.
Also, side note, like this creative arm of doing church different. Reaching people differently, allowing room for people to ask questions, all that. Like, how did you go down that road versus the road you were on of, I'm just doing sports, I'm going after my dream, and I don't even know if I want anything to do with the church. How do you then get in ministry and say, I want to do it a little bit differently?
Yeah. So I think that's a great question. Once I gave my life to Jesus, I knew that meant, because I've just seen that modeled, I knew that meant serving and getting involved in community. And so I taught a first grade Sunday school class, and then I got involved with Big Brother.
This is after K-State.
No. This is still at K-State.
While you're at
so
K-State.
I'm playing games. I'm like, we're going to Oklahoma State playing games. I get back at 2 a.m. I wake up at 7 a.m. to be at the Sunday school class at 8 a.m. to teach a first grade Sunday school class.
And
stuff like that.
I'm going to shout out Julian Cafo and Jacob Hoff, and there's different people play for the Gophers do the same thing. It's like they fly back that night and they show up, and I love that. Like they're the best dudes in the world. So I've seen it, but that's like commitment.
I just knew. Craig, I completely agree with you. I knew I needed my stacking chair reps.
Yeah,
I knew I needed my reps there, and I knew that God wanted to build that servanthood leadership in me.
It's interesting because as a pastor's kid, you feel like you've done all the reps.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you had to be there, but you were there and you weren't doing anything.
I was there because Dillon has chosen to be there, not because my parents are driving. They say, get your butt in the car. It's
interesting because as a parent, you can have your kid, like I need to make sure they do the internship. I need to make sure that they're stacking the chairs. I need to make sure that they go apply, and it's like, but are you forcing that on your kid? And there's good stuff that happens.
No, I completely agree.
It's a different level when it's like, I know I need this for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I got some tests to pass. You know? So
awesome. I did a first grade Sunday school class for a year. For 2 years, I met with this little kid named Caleb. In 3rd and 4th grade, we went to lunch and recess every single Wednesday for 2 years. And I did Big Brother, Big Sister. So I learned how to mentor and disciple.
Yeah.
And then I helped with a church plant. It was me, the pastor, and his wife. Last Sunday, I think I had 800. And that's amazing. Like 3 years later. And so I helped with a church plant, portable church, the life there, set up, tear down. And so got some reps there. Then I got the young adults pastor position. No Bible classes, no theology background there in teaching in a formal context.
What were you studying at K-State?
Communications with a minor in leadership. So I was a grad assistant with them too, because I got done a little bit early. So I had I had my degree, but not in necessarily what I was going into in some ways. And so here's what I knew. At least ministry for me, I never got specifically called like, Dillon, you need to be a young adults pastor, a youth pastor, a kids pastor. It was never titled like that or labeled specifically for that. For me, it was like, I want you to help people find their wings.
Yeah.
And if you go to my Instagram, butterflies are all over it. I think helping people, like the metamorphosis process of going from a caterpillar to a butterfly. Yep. A caterpillar can crawl and is very, very slow. Okay. And all of a sudden there's a change that happens even in the physical, where now they come out of the cocoon, the process. And
to
in
get
the
out
season,
of that.
Yep, bust out of the cocoon and then start to fly. Now they can go further and faster towards their purpose, and they're beautiful. I believe every single person is called to be a butterfly and to fly, and I want to help people do that. Now, my vehicle is going to change in every season of my life. So for the last 3 years, it's been a young adults pastor.
Yep.
Before that, it was a football player and me reaching my guys in my locker room and the church plant and stuff. And now it's a clothing designer.
Yo, that's amazing. And it speaks to like the difference between like the current task that you have and like a deeper calling on your life.
Yeah.
And I think calling can evolve over time, like because of what you know as a human and what you're learning from the Lord and all that. Like at the same time, I don't think it shifts too much. You have a purpose of why you're on the planet, and you'll do a lot of things, a lot of tasks.
Yeah.
In my life, I feel called to build a local church no matter what I do. Like now, that doesn't mean the local church has to pay my paychecks forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like God could call me into something else, but I always feel this like deep level of responsibility to wherever I'm at.
Yeah.
Be in a local church,
Let's go, man.
building local church.
Yeah.
And I think heroes like Tissel, who's behind the camera, he has worked at the church and been the lead designer at River Valley, and God called him out. But what didn't change is this deep level of calling.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
He's volunteering, playing guitar. He's been at more Sundays than I have as a pastor, because I've been on trips or global teams or whatever. And he's still here doing 4 services on a Sunday, downtown Minneapolis, doing it. And there's a calling sometimes that doesn't change, but your task, so he's freelancing and doing his own thing, doing this podcast. And it sounds like your task from young adult pastor to now clothing designer, building brand, traveling, touring with your wife. That's a new task, but like a deep level of calling, turning people into butterflies.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
Kirk, I think this metaphor is helping, and maybe it'll help some people on the podcast as they're listening, is 2 things. Think about it like a funnel like this.
Yep.
If it's make disciples and then love God, love people. The Great Commandment, Great Commission, all Christians are called to that. So as you continue to move down the funnel and you do that, no matter what your calling or purpose is, it's going to encompass those 2. Those are our 2 greatest commandments. So as you do that, love God, love people, and make disciples, your individual role starts to happen. So for me, you asked me earlier, how did I go from sports kid to now like fashion, art, design, video, all that? Well, as I started moving down the funnel, I was like, I love staying up. I could stay up all night and make graphics with my friends. Oh my gosh, I'm influenced by YouTube in a major way. It's influencing the way I talk, the way I think, the friends that I have. And oh my gosh, I love traveling and doing mission trips. All of a sudden, boom, my individual role has happened because I went down the purpose and the funnel that all of us go towards. But it takes time to be able to go down that funnel to find your individual role. Now, the roles that you have change. So this metaphor has helped me as well. So your destination. So for me, help people find their wings. The destination in the vehicle will change to get to the destination. Football player, young adults pastor, clothing designer. So it's changed for me. Same destination, but I got to change vehicles. So if we were going to London, we could get in a Ferrari now.
Shout out Tissel, he's from London.
Shout out, baby. So if we're going to London, we're gonna get in a Ferrari. We're gonna drive to the airport.
I don't know who owns a Ferrari, but
me neither. I just thought of the coolest car I could.
Yeah, it's great.
And we get in a Ferrari, we go to the airport, then we get on a tram, take it to the right terminal, then we get on the plane, then we get to London, then we hop on a trolley. Well, I mean, we're switching vehicle after vehicle
to get to the same spot.
To get to where God's called us to do exactly our purpose in life. All of us have a destination that God's called us to, and that will mean vehicle changes. Listen, you could be in a Ferrari for a season, but you're not going to get to London in a Ferrari. So for me, I just want to be obedient and say, God, whenever you change my vehicle, I want to be ready. And I'm willing to change vehicles and trust you, even when it looks like quitting my job December 1st and not knowing what's happening. I trust that you're going to bring it. And man, he's showing up every time for me. And it's scary amazing. Though. No, it's scary, but there's going to be vehicle changes as you continue to move towards your destination.
No, I'm with you. I think just as a side note to that, I travel to India, and you get on a flight to Amsterdam. It's 8 hours.
Oh,
you
yeah.
get on another 8-hour flight to get to Delhi. Then you get out, and you're walking with your suitcases. You get on like a little rickshaw thing. It takes you to a subway. So you get on the subway. That takes you to an actual train station, like rickety train station, and then you get on the train.
That's an experience.
You ride that for 6 hours. There's no AC. No toilet seat. Then you're on that. And then you get it off that, and you're up in the mountains now at this time, and you get in a truck, you ride that for 3 hours up into the mountains. And the whole goal was to get to like up in the Himalayan mountains or whatever. The best part of it was not just the top, but it was the whole thing, the journey there. Yeah. Obviously that's cliche. It's classic,
it makes sense.
But it's cool. Like if you're in a season, people that are listening, like you're changing vehicles and oh my goodness, it's scary, all that stuff. That's the story you're going to tell your kid and grandkid. It's not, man, I sat in the same seat, same cubicle for 37 years. It's God shifted me at times. And I didn't know where I was going to get my next paycheck. I didn't know where I was going to get my next meal. I didn't know where I was going to live, all that. But that's what you tell your kids and grandkids. It's like the legacy is not just the destination of look at all you did, but look at how you got there.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been a lot of times that God's asked me, Dillon, can you trust me? And it's scary every time, but worth it.
Yeah.
I want to keep saying yes.
Yeah, you said YouTube has a huge you're massively influenced by YouTube.
Yeah.
Talk about what that has been like, because I think there might be older an older generation listen. There's for sure an older generation listening that they know what YouTube is because this is 2018, 2019 as this podcast comes out. They know what YouTube is.
If you don't know what YouTube is, I don't know where you been.
It's the number 2 search engine in the world, next to Google.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you may not view YouTube as a search engine, but that's 100% what it is. Like like how to change a tire, you don't Google it, you now YouTube it. You know, like anything that you want to learn, you can YouTube it, and there's a video out there for that.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think they say it's over 95% of 10-year-olds in America have a YouTube account.
Yeah.
So 10 years old, they have their own personal YouTube account. And don't quote me on it. You could look it up. It's way up there percentage-wise of how many young people have their own account. This is a world that they're living in.
Yeah.
Even beyond now Instagram and Snapchat, all that. YouTube is a world that kids live in to watch their heroes do what they want to do someday. It's a whole deal.
Dude.
So talk about your journey in finding out some of this, finding out that it's like a legit thing. It's a legit business deal. It's like you can go into this whole world of YouTube, but then also what are your dreams? What's your play in the YouTube world?
Yeah. So I started to notice, especially in the last 2 years, I've really gotten in the scene and in the YouTube community. There's this guy named Casey Neistat up in New York, and he has an electric skateboard. And I was looking up online all night, how much are they? How can I get one? Is there wholesale ones? So I'm starting to want things that they talk about, and the things that they value, I now value too. There's this YouTube account called PAQ. It's 4 guys, and it's a fashion channel. I started to dress like them and started to pick up different styles. Oh, I'm gonna wear my collar like that. Oh, I want those shoes. And I also started to talk like them. So I caught myself saying buzzing a lot. Oh, I'm buzzing about this. This is rad. Buzzing was a slang term that they used I'd never heard before. But I started to pick up English slang terms that they were using because they're from England. Started to pick up slang terms. We're giving England a shout out a lot today.
I know, Tissel's so happy.
But I started to use slang terms that they were using.
Yeah.
And then I watched Yes Theory, and they're in LA. Yes Theory's whole mission statement is seek discomfort. I started to do things that I wasn't comfortable doing because Yes Theory was influencing me.
Yeah, amazing.
So I felt like God was telling me the way you're thinking, the way you're talking, the way you're acting, the way you're dressing is being influenced by this platform. I want you to go pastor YouTube and influence the hearts and the minds of people and lead them to truth, lead them to the purpose that I've called them to through that platform.
Yeah.
And that is your stage now. YouTube is your stage.
Amazing. And I think there's people there's people in our generation, even though you're 4 years younger, but we're same. I'm like on the old scale of like this whole movement, like YouTube, and so are you, to be honest.
No, I am.
But it's not going away. Like YouTube's not going away. If anything, it's growing, and all of social media in general, like this is growing. It's not going away. It's there. And we're part of a generation where there's a lot of young people in ministry that would say, they were like, I want to pastor the celebrities, because we saw different like leaders that they have connections to Hollywood or wherever it is, New York, and they're pastoring like famous people, whatever. I've heard that from a million people. It's like, I feel like God's calling me to pastor celebrities, which is, take it or leave it.
Yep.
Great.
Got it.
No problem. Okay. I think it is so crazy that like, I think this next step and it's not to pastor celebrities. That's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
But this next step is pastoring a community of people where there's so much influence and so like, and it may be some of the biggest stars right now. We wouldn't know their names because, but 10-year-olds know their names because they're watching their accounts. Some of the biggest stars that are now getting movie deals, all that, are YouTube like celebrities.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not like the Hollywood all-stars or A-list or whatever, but it's growing, and that will soon outweigh. There's theories on Hollywood like being totally disrupted by
YouTube
community.
Yeah,
it's YouTube and whatever. What's the one where they watch people play video games?
Oh, what's
this
that
is
called?
my age, dude. Twitch, dude.
Twitch,
Thanks,
yes.
Classic. Look up Tissel's Twitch account. I'm kidding. Yeah, Twitch. Like people watch. Yeah, kids are watching their favorite video gamers.
Yeah, exactly.
Just play video games. So this world we live in. But you saying I want to pastor this community.
Yeah.
Because you've realized that it's a legit community and people. Because well, you were influenced by all these people.
Exactly.
And if there's kids out there that are being influenced, you want to be an influencer in that world for the kingdom of God.
Hey, and I hear a lot of people saying that too, the celebrity stuff.
The celebrity stuff, yeah. And I'm not saying it's the same.
I get
it's different.
I get it. No, I completely get it. Here's what I have to say on that.
Yeah.
Is the posture of your heart.
Totally.
Meaning, if God brings in different people of influence in my life, I will love them just like I love someone with zero influence.
Yeah.
I'm only at that point now that I'm able to say that because of the season that God's taken me through.
Yes.
There was a season, Kirk, in my life where I deleted Instagram for a year.
Yeah.
1 year, I didn't post a picture of myself because I know God was saying, I want you to be okay in your identity, not being on what other people like or say about you or comment or you posting pictures of your outfits, any of that. I want your identity and your purpose and your ability to be able to have security in me. So like deleting Instagram, giving up love you, all of that stuff. If God opens up celebrity doors, dude, that's awesome. I'm going to love them just like I love everybody else. And celebrity or not, YouTube being my stage, I'm really excited for that next season. I'm scared because I've never had a YouTube account. I never even made a longer video than 4 minutes, but
this
I'm excited.
video is going to be on YouTube.
Let's go. My first YouTube video.
Long. There you go.
Let's get it.
Yeah, it'll be an hour-long conversation.
Yeah.
So, no, I think it's amazing. Talk to me about your strategy of what you're about to build. So we talked about a little bit of your upbringing.
Yeah, exactly.
How you got to where you are, but you're about to build a clothing line.
Yep.
And how in the world does that have anything to do with YouTube?
Yeah, so good, man. I think every part of my story is coming together for now and for this moment. And
it's so epic. Everything in my life has been
led
building to this moment.
Yeah. So remember how I said that I gave away the clothes to the homeless kids in my community?
Yeah.
So when I saw the pictures of them wearing that, bro, I was inspired. I'm talking like there was YouTubers, there was NFL guys, there was different people of status wearing the clothes first collection. That was cool.
Yeah.
But seeing the homeless kids have a smile on their face and feel valued by having brand new clothes, like they don't get that. They don't get new clothes. And to be able to wear that was so special. So now I am about to start a clothing line. That from the profits of the clothing line, I do nonprofit work around the world. And that whole story is told through YouTube. And so it just like I'll make clothes and then give clothes away or do different missions projects and do things around the world that are adding value to people who are less fortunate and then doing it through YouTube. It's not any longer about me making clothes for cool people to look cool and make money and all of that. It's about how can we use fashion, something that a lot of people enjoy, and use the revenue from coming together as a community to add value to people who need it. And I think that's something that fashion really needs. I think fashion in a lot of ways is very self-centric, self-promoting, and let me just get the hottest stuff so I can look the best and let everyone know my status and value in the world. But I really think that fashion from a different angle, taking the profits from that, enjoying the clothes that you wear. We're gonna have a blast. We're gonna create the coolest clothes ever. Love You's gonna be clothes that you enjoy wearing and feel so cool. Yeah. But also, it's more than just the clothes that you're wearing. Other people are getting love, value, and attention from that as well.
So explain it a little deeper if you have it. But it's not. I mean, it's not buy a shirt and a kid gets a shirt.
Yeah, not like that.
Okay.
So I'll break it down a little bit to the best of my ability.
Yeah, it's
now.
all new. Like
exactly.
It's about to happen. But
it's about to happen. So my best of my ability is there will be a synergy between the clothing line and the project. Yeah. So let's say I do a sports collection. Yeah. Meaning we do old vintage sports clothes and stuff. Yeah. Do a whole collection based on sports. Yep. So I have a big fashion show. We'll launch the clothing line online, and we'll do a sports collection. Then all of a sudden, we build a turf soccer field in Uganda. Yeah. You see the relationship and the synergy between those. A sports collection, then we raise $30,000 from the clothes that you guys buy. Then we do a soccer field in Uganda in an impoverished community, and then tell that whole story through mini documentaries on YouTube.
Yo, amazing. I think it's awesome. From the fashion side to what you're doing in Uganda, but the strategy of telling the story through YouTube, telling the story through social is brilliant. I think the old way of thinking of marketing and getting things out there is, the super old way would be like putting up a billboard or sending out mailers.
Yeah, exactly.
The next old way, which is where a lot of people are, but it's old, is like Facebook ads and just pumping it as much as you can, through your personal platform, whatever. Yeah. The actual way now that a lot of people are doing it is like, we're just sharing the process of it, so it's not just, you don't just see the final product and the pitch of the final product, but we're showing you this process of how we make the clothes, what we're doing in Uganda, all this stuff, the journey of it. I love even that we're filming this and you're like, it's, we're still working it out, like all that, because it's authentically,
they feel part of the journey with you. Totally. And so it's not just me and my staff creating the clothes. You guys, the thousands of people watching on the YouTube channel or watching through Instagram are like, I'm a part of this team too. I am love you. Yeah. Everybody's love you.
Well, and that's how you felt with the people that you would watch on YouTube. But I love it because, you bring people on the journey. I heard somebody share. Actually, I was watching this video on YouTube, and this guy's talking. He's like, imagine if you could watch Steve Jobs and Wozniak in their garage making the first Mac, like starting this thing, like if they were documenting it, if they had the phones out that they had yet to create, but they had the phones out and they're filming it, putting it up on YouTube. If that had existed, now Apple being what it is, everybody would watch that. Everybody would go back and watch all that. If you could watch Michael Jordan when he was in high school, because he was filming his shots, filming his practice, filming everything, the journey of it. He's not like, hey, I'm Michael Jordan, I'm the best in the world. Yeah. He's saying like, I'm Michael Jordan, I'm in high school, and I'm working harder than anybody else. I want to be the best. I want to be the, everybody go watch that, So Jeff Bezos, if he's out, if you get to watch him and a couple of his buddies packing books in boxes and shipping them out as Amazon's getting off the ground now is Amazon. Everybody watch that. So I think, and everybody who's building anything, you have this journey. Don't just create the content, like the final product content, and put it out there. But everything that you do in the journey is content to be captured. So for you, I love that you're saying it. I think it's brilliant. It's amazing. And even this podcast, this is a final product that's out there, and we're thinking of ways like how can we do more behind the scenes stuff? How can we capture the 20 minutes of talking that we had before this that can go out there that people see oh, this is how, if they're interested in how we're building a podcast, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I think it's brilliant and it's so authentic. Like you're not saying, hey, we're the best clothing company of all time, but come on this journey with us and we'll get there. Imagine where it is 10 years from now, 20 years from now, and you've documented and published the whole journey. You know,
Yeah.
your kids will get to watch it.
Yeah.
Grandkids will get to watch it. So we just live in a different world. I'm talking a whole lot, but I'm pumped
No,
about it.
no, I love it, dude.
I think what you're about to do, one, it's a huge step of faith, which I think God honors that either way.
Yeah.
My philosophy is even if you're wrong, like even if God's like, you missed it.
Yes.
But the heart, the posture, what you talked about, the posture is I think it's God. Even if you're wrong, God goes, I love faith and I'm gonna make sure you're good. So I think that's amazing. But then how you're about to build this, it's gonna be great, dude.
Thank you, bro.
You're gonna crush it. Seriously.
Thank
you. Shifting to marriage, what's you're most excited about for marriage? What you're about to step into?
Dude, we really have an exciting 3 months after marriage. She's on Winter Jam.
Yep.
And so we're going 3 months, 44 cities, 11 weeks, 4 days a week. So that'll be fun. I've never been on a tour bus, and I'm about to be on one for 11 weeks.
Yeah, amazing.
So that'll be fun. By the time this comes out, I'll be like mid-tour. So if you're on one of the dates, come say what's up to me at Winter Jam.
Seriously. That's amazing. So that's what you're most excited about for marriage is Winter Jam.
No, there's a lot more. But if we're talking about, we do have 4 days in Cancun and have a house in Nashville we're moving into.
Yeah.
But Winter Jam's gonna be fun to be able to experience that with her.
Yo, that's amazing. And for you guys as a couple, I mean, obviously she knows everything that you're talking about now, and you know her world. And by the way, Holland's not. I mean, she's not just trying to make it; she's doing it. I mean,
she's killing it, man.
She's killing it. So. She's out there, and look her up too if you're listening. Never heard of her.
Her stuff's dope.
Well, you spell it HOLLYN.
Yeah.
So Holland, her stuff is amazing. But you as a couple, is there anything that you guys talk about as a couple, husband and wife? You're about to get married, doing this thing that you guys are going to build together. I mean, you do.
Yeah.
You'll be with her doing music.
No, it's good. Good question.
But anything like it's a long term thing too. But as a couple, what do you guys want to build together?
Yeah, great question. And we've talked a lot about this since the day we met. It feels like we're on again, we are running like the same pace of life towards our purpose. Yep. And we've never felt like anybody really gets us. Like me, myself have said that hundreds of times. She has said that as well. And I feel like I finally met the person that gets me.
Yeah.
And she says the same about me. And we fit like a perfect puzzle piece together of the stuff I love to do, like the graphics, the systems, the teams, the video, the creative aspect there. She's good at it and she likes it, but it's not her favorite. She would rather go write, process, do all of that stuff. That isn't the most fun for me.
You're like a business and creative asset to
you know what's crazy,
career.
bro? Is so Enneagram. Are you a fan?
Yeah, what are you?
So I'm an 8.
Yeah.
She's a 9.
The challenger.
Yep, exactly. So when 8 and 9 are in romantic relationships, it's like fire and water. So I actually just got this tattoo with a heart. So this is the first time I'm saying publicly what this is, but I love it. I had the heart before we started dating, but then I put fire there, representing the fire and water
Peacemaker,
stuff.
The challenger.
Yeah, exactly. So she got a heart with the waves in it, and so we got couple tats.
Yeah, great.
And yeah, but that's really what it feels like in a business context too, that we might do some projects together, fire and water, that we're complementing each other. I love music, can't do it. She loves fashion, doesn't really like designing, but it's fun. We could see the music, the fashion, the art of what we do coming together for some big projects. We don't know specifically what that will look like, but we're excited for what that could entail.
It's amazing. Bro, I think the world of you. I love you.
Thanks, man.
We'll be friends for life, for sure. And even though we live on other parts of the country.
It don't matter.
Dude, it doesn't matter. And I'll just follow you, subscribe on YouTube.
Let's go.
So
click the link, subscribe.
Okay, 2 questions. What's your favorite book of all time? And you can't say the Bible.
Okay, I got it. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, and then answer that. You got
Circle Maker, Mark Batterson, praying circles around your biggest dreams. It's come alongside of me when I needed it the most. I read it one time in college, all the way through, pretty fast, and then I read it like 3.5 years later. It was really cool, first of all, to see the notes that I made 3.5 years before on the things that like God had come through on, and the fruition that has happened in my life because I trusted Him in those moments.
Amazing.
So the pain in the pencil marks to the side, and now what I'm walking in now. So that was great. But okay, for the last year, Kirk, I read this book for a year. People were like, how does it take you a year to read a book? Well,
no.
I was only reading 1 or 2 pages a day because I was downloading so much content from it that I wanted to debrief. And so I read it and then would read it, journal every day for a year. So Circle Maker, Mark Batterson, praying circles around your biggest dreams. It's incredible.
Amazing. I've also read it. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
and I'm gonna go back and maybe do a little
do it, bro.
debrief on it.
Let's go.
Yeah, because I would have notes in there too. I never even thought about it until right now.
It's intriguing. It's
on my
inspiring. Yeah, to see how God's come through.
Last question, and then we'll wrap up.
Yep.
And you fly back tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Last question. Anybody following in your footsteps, and you can pick from any angle of your life, one piece of advice that you give them.
I would say one word that comes to mind right as you said that, stay faithful in the season that you're planted in. God's going to teach you, mold you, shape you, and ask you to trust him in many different ways in many different seasons. You may not see it yet. So if you're listening to this and you're going through a season like, I'm not in the career that I want, or I have a bigger purpose and a bigger dream than where I'm planted right now, or I'm scared and I don't know what to do. Like if you're having those thoughts and that's triggered right now as you're listening, what I would encourage you is be faithful where God has you at, because there may be some stuff that he's teaching you, shaping you, molding you for that you can't even see yet. You don't even know, you don't even understand, but you need to be ready for when that happens. So staying faithful, and trusting him for the fruitful.
Amazing. Stay faithful, trust him for the fruitful.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's legendary, bro. You should put that on Instagram. Is your Instagram back up?
Yep.
All right.
I got it back. Instagram's back. Dillon Scott Wilson.
Dillon Scott Wilson. And also, if you're listening, so you'll be on Winter Jam when this comes out.
Yeah.
And if you're listening anywhere around the country.
Yeah, come kick it.
Yeah. They shoot you a DM, huh?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. You'll respond?
I will respond.
All right, there we go.
Yeah.
Love you, bro.
I love you too, man.
Love your whole family. Think the world
Thanks,
of you.
bro.
Quick shout out. Hunter, amazing.
Yep.
Dakota, I love you. Dakota has a special spot in my heart. I love them. I was the closest with them when I was down there, and I love them. And
they love you too, man.
The music that's coming out is awesome, dude.
Lucky Star. Shout out Dakota.
Shout out Dakota. Peace. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this, we'd love for you to subscribe to this channel. We've got new episodes releasing every single week. We'd also love to hear your questions or comments. You can comment below. You can also find us on Instagram at Exception Podcast. And I want to give a quick shout out to our producer, Tissel. My name's Kirk Graham, and we'll see you back next week.